Let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
go live in three,
Javon,
two.
no, Javon just
Whoa,
left.
whoa, whoa,
Come
whoa,
on,
Javon.
Javon. The shirt is okay, damn it. God damn it, man. Jesus Christ.
You guys are worse than girls, bro. What the
Oh my God.
fuck?
Now we're looking at his whole torso. What are we doing right now? What's it for?
Hey, all is for Ruben, man. Blame Ruben.
Count me out.
Alrighty. Ruben is coming this week. He's got us. Mixing air and water. We're live in 3, 2, 1, sync. There we go. What's up,
Well,
everybody? Everybody looking beautiful.
Take two. Take two. Take two.
Leave that on there. Leave that on. Leave that
Yeah,
on.
leave that on there, though.
You ready
All right,
now?
go.
Can you count me down
Yeah.
and just on one be one, or are we gonna just keep ad-libbing? What we
Oh,
do?
there we go. We're live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 4 of Group 901, the channel that talks about Porsches. Today, in this episode, we're going to talk about the Porsche community, but more importantly, mixing water-cooled and air-cooled together. And we are welcoming our guest, another myth, legend, a great member of the Porsche community that is known throughout South Florida for his smile, his excellent ability to ride bikes and cover huge distances that I can't even imagine, and many, many more things. Welcome, Ruben, to our episode. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's
JR,
go.
you're just saying that so you don't get kicked out of his chat. You're just saying
Right.
all these nice things about him.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I'm
no.
all about that, because you know my reputation.
I'm flattered, guys. Thank you for having me here. You guys are doing a great show. I appreciate that, and it's all for the community, like we all say about it. It's all about the friendship and the cars.
Much so.
Awesome.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, we
Don't
need
get
to kind of
nervous. Don't get nervous.
explain. Before we go too far, we just said air cooled and water cooled. So maybe we need to make some type of summary about what that actually means, because there may be some people that really don't understand what air cooled is and water cooled and the differences. And then we can maybe get into the community. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do
All
it.
right. Frank, why don't you explain maybe the differences between air cooled and the water cooled?
Okay.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look it up real quick.
He doesn't know.
Let me look it up. Let me look it up
He
real
doesn't
quick.
know. He doesn't know the difference.
All right. So in the Porsche community, we do have the air cooled Porsches, including the 914s, right? 911s, and going up to what, like 97?
98.
98.
97,
Okay.
98,
So we
right?
switch. So we switch right now. I think this is an Andy thing now.
Okay. Well, hold on. Yeah, okay, if you're actually right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you want, hold on. If you want the details, you're actually right. Andy is the one that should be saying this stuff because he's the engineer. I just kind of make it up as I go if you can't tell. So
And you remember he was
go
the one that made the poor decision or the interesting decision to not buy an air cooled, but to get a water cooled.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So go ahead. So let Andy elaborate.
Yeah,
on
let
the
that wound soak a little. Let the wound open up a little bit. Come on,
the
explain
one
it
you
to us.
have, the one you have, and the one you don't have. How about that?
Yeah, let's start there.
You mean the picture behind me?
Yeah.
Radiator versus no radiator. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You see, Ruben defined it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well,
That's why he's a pro.
that's why you either have coolant or you don't have coolant.
Water cooled. Yeah, I mean, the long story short, right? The 911 started in 63, I believe, right? 1963 to 64.
I think right when
Ruben was probably
Ruben was already like 20. But go ahead.
Well, I asked Ruben because he probably remembers the launch. But so yeah, the 911 was pretty much a oiled cooled car using water to cool down. Excuse me, using air to cool down. Using air and oil to cool down the engine. They did that pretty much all the way through the life of the vehicle up until 97 when you had the European rollout, and then 98 was the American rollout for the 996. So Frank was
993.
Right? I was right. You see, I was right, and you guys cut me off and made me doubt myself. But okay,
that was the last year. Yeah, that was the last year where the 993 and the 996 were rolling off the assembly line at the same time. Towards the end of the year, you had the full 996 production kick in with the help of Toyota. Just had to drop that in there, like we said a couple of episodes ago. So ever since then, the cars are now cooled by water and coolant.
I
But
will.
I think if we go back,
Yep.
and
Go
then
ahead, my man.
Ruben is going to elaborate on this. Porsche started in 1948, and I believe their first car was the 356, which was
Right.
also
Correct.
air-cooled. So
Yeah, thank you for that correction, Javon. I was about to, we have that
So
shared love of the 356, so it was very important that you brought that point out about the 356. And still want to own one day. So
so go ahead, Jeff.
now I'll ask this one last question, but like, so does anybody actually understand how the engine is cooled? How the air actually cools the engine?
I mean,
Yeah.
are we
I'm
gonna?
not.
There's
Captain
a
Boring. I'm
so
not answering that one. But yes,
so now
the
now that
answer is
I
yes.
finally owned an air cooled car and did the research, I started learning more about it, which is a dream come true. There is a fan, and that fan is turned by a belt that pushes air through air journals into the engine compartment, so that as there's like these sinks on each side of am I correct, Ruben, when I say this?
The heat sinks,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
heat
they're heat
sinks.
sinks. Yeah,
The
the
air
fins on
passes
the
those.
on the
the
block.
fins on the pistons.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. There you go. The fins on the pistons. As the air passes through that section, it cools the engine. A lot of times people have problems with overheating when their vehicles are overheating because those air journals get blocked by like mice and debris and things like that, and they may occasionally be cooled. So anyway, that's just a brief history of the air cooled, water cooled, as we know, because of emissions and other reasons. Things had to change. And so many purists feel like air cooled is the only way to have a 911 or a Porsche, and they are willing to pay a high premium, while the rest of us have decided to move on to water cooled because of prices, more performance out of the engine, and modern convenience, right? You get
Yeah.
actually good working AC and heat, right? in a water cooled car. So
You
can
know,
you
you know, I'm a little sad today. Well, happy and sad because happy because Ruben is here, right? And we have a lot to talk about. But sad because Kurt, he's flying. So Kurt is usually the guy, our sixth man. Kurt is flying. He won't land until 8, and we didn't want to move our schedules for Ruben. So the reason I'm sad because one of the reasons Ruben is here this week was because Kurt called him out last week and said that Ruben's car is his favorite air-cooled car, and he's not
Yeah.
here to talk
Mhm.
about it. But
Yeah.
we want to know, we want to pick on Ruben's brain and let him tell his story for the 500th time. But the reason is it's a really cool car and it's a really cool story, and I have personal stories about that car. So yeah, I mean, Ruben, what do you drive now, and why do you drive it?
Well, I still drive my RS America. I've had it for 26 years.
Wow.
And if you want to know the whole story, of course, back in '94, my best friend, who we grew up together, he was the general manager of the hotel. I was the director. So he went to Champion to get a brand new Porsche in '94, a new Carrera. The
Ruben, one
sales,
second. Can you just move your camera down a little bit? We want to see your mouth all the way too. Sorry while you talk, but please
There you go.
continue. There you go. Okay.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
So in '94, he went to Champion, and the salesperson told him, "You want a new Carrera? It's going to be 65 grand. However, I got a cheaper version in my showroom, and if you want to look at it." So he went to see it, and the salesperson said it's going to be about 10 grand less than the regular Carrera. So he asked him, "Why is it 10 grand cheaper?" So the guy said, "Well, this car, they took a lot of the insulation, doesn't have power steering. Um, it has, stuff is rough. But if you don't put the emblems, nobody's gonna know that you bought a cheaper version of the 911." So he bought the car and he said, "Don't put any emblems." He brought it to the hotel and he said, "GM, of course, where does he park? Right in
Right in
front.
front. Right in
Right in
front.
front." So when I saw the car, I said, "Holy crap, Jesus." But at that time, I said, "You know what? One day, dreaming." So about 4 years later, and the guy had it for maybe 5.5, and he lived about a block away from the hotel. He traveled about 3 weeks every month. So the car only had 14,000 miles on it.
Years.
He used to take it to
Jesus.
the collection. Anytime the car sneezed, boom, the collection. So I knew the car was in mint. So at one point, 4 years later after he bought it, I said, listen, I already got divorced. I had some money put aside. So I said, listen, if you're ever going to sell the car, why don't you give me a first crack on that car?
I got to interrupt you first. Did you lowball him though?
No, not at all. Not a widow.
Not at the time.
Divorce. He said divorce, not widow. Okay, let's just.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, but going back a little bit, when the big boss in your company tells you, "Hey, are you busy today?" You always say, "Oh yeah, of course," But I knew when he used to ask me, "Are you busy?" My answer was, "Yes, I am, but I got it all covered," because I knew what he was going to ask me, and he would say, "Listen, I'm going to go to downtown. I want to buy a new suit at Burdines back in the old days, and I don't want to park my car. Do you mind driving my car around downtown while I get the suit?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." Shit, man, I was in downtown going, "Fuck, God, man," it was like amazing. It was amazing. So about 5 years later, he comes to me and said, "Listen, are you still interested?" I said, "Yep." And he said, "I'm going to trade the car in and going to get out a Boxster from the collection." And I said, "Okay." And I said to him,
Oh my God.
"That's okay. Boxers back then is different than Boxers now."
I-
But I said, "I'll give you," I knew the car was in great shape. So I said, "I'll give you whatever the dealership is offering you." "So are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." So the dealership was offering 32 grand, and that's what I paid for the car. 32 grand for the car.
Wow.
Oh my God. Well, can you say
You
how?
see, Andy. You see,
Wait a minute, can we look up-
Andy's taking a deep breath. You see how it's done, Andy?
And remember, he never put the emblems, so I had no idea it was an RS America.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
So
Are you serious?
take it to the collection as soon as I buy the car, just to get the old, since that was the history with the car, they had the history. And as soon as I drive into the service department, the service manager comes out and he said, "Did you buy this car?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And he goes like this, "Do me a favor." I said, "Okay, what?" "Drive it." I said,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure. Of course." I said, "The right hand." Says, "Why?" "We just changed the gearbox on this car for lack of driving. This car was meant to be driven hard. And if you don't drive it, it breaks down. You gotta drive it hard." I said, "Don't worry, it's in the right hands."
Wow.
So,
Wow, bro.
How much now is one of those RSs worth?
well, I'm gonna go there in a
Oh,
second.
excuse me.
I'm gonna go there in a second. So, a year later, 1 year, I already had the Panorama magazine,
Uh,
and there was an ad for an RS America, and in 2 years, they made 701 cars in 2 years.
okay.
So this one was a 1993. Mine is a 1994. In 1994, they only built 84 cars. The only difference between 93 and 94 is that they put 2 little seats in the back, which they don't weigh anything anyway. And they put RS in the VIN number. 93 has PS in their VIN number.
Oh, okay.
in
I didn't know that.
in my color, the midnight metallic blue, they only made 17 in my year. That was an optional color because the main colors were black, white, and red.
Yeah.
They did about 3 yellows, and they did a few in silver. But in midnight metallic blue, they did also a few of those. So, I got the ad, and it says 1993 RS America, 0 miles. So of course that means a lot. But then when I saw the price, I said $98,000 a year later. And I said, "What? Wait a minute. I think I have an RS America. Let me go to the glove compartment." Shit, I do. Shit.
Ooh.
I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no idea. So then I started Googling RS America, and eventually I found a website. There's a gentleman in California. Unfortunately, I think he's trying to sell it to PCA. but it's not up anymore. But it's rsamerica.net,
Wow.
and he had every article ever published, the whole history about the car. He also had like asking everyone to register with him. So out of the 701 cars, and this is about 2 years ago, the last time I checked, we had maybe about 400 and so cars all over the world, and it will show the person, the person's name, not a full name, but
Wow.
and the location where the car is.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
all over the world, and how many are in Puerto Rico, how many in Germany, how many are in the
Wow.
United States, in California, whatever. So it was very interesting. I hope PCA has it. I don't know. So when I saw that and I found the website, then I checked and I said, give me all the freaking logos, the decals and everything. So I put all that on the
Put it
car.
all on. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir. Loud and proud.
and it's a 964, of course, and it's 94, which is of the two years in 94, which is the last year of the 964 also.
Correct.
In addition, a lot of the 964s that were sent to the States in general, about 90% of them almost, they have sunroof.
Oh,
Mine is a sunroof delete. Mine doesn't have sunroof, which is also more rare because a lot of the RS America had sunroofs, which add weight to the car.
mhm.
Yeah, because they came with power mirrors and stuff like that, and airbags for U.S. regulations.
The options were just the limited slip differential, air conditioning, and radio. Those were the only three options. Everything else is bare.
Wow.
I gave I had Javon drive the car once, and it just feels like a brand new car. It just was such a well-made car. It's an amazing car.
So my story to that was we went to breakfast at Everglades City. I wasn't part of the air cooled breakfast crew yet. I was invited as a guest, and Ruben happened to see me there, and he goes, "What did you ride with?" So I rode with Pedro, 993 PLO.
Okay.
So I rode with him. He invited me. Really, really cool guy. Hopefully we get him onto one of these shows. So Ruben spots me at breakfast, right? It's a big, you got, Frank, you know how ACBC is. It's a big room. And
Yeah.
Ruben spots me. He's like, "Oh, you're here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just riding with Pedro." He said, "Okay, you're going to drive my car back." I'm like, knowing what they are now. And I'm like, I
Sweaty
don't think so.
palms. Sweaty
I'm like,
palms.
I don't think,
You,
I'm like,
well,
I'm
you
not going
already
to drive it.
knew.
I'm not gonna drive it because God forbid something happens. I don't want that over my head, right?
Yeah.
So we have breakfast, and here I was trying to avoid Ruben, right? Like I'm not gonna hang out with him. I'm gonna go the other way because I really don't want to be put on the spot. And the guy finds me. I don't know how. He finds me, and he's like, "You're driving my car," and I'm like, "Ruben, no. Like, all due respect, I don't want to wreck it or whatever." He said, "I'm not. We're not leaving here until you drive it." And I'm like, "Okay." So I drove the car, and it was one of my first air-cooled experiences. Obviously, I drove Pedro's car and I drove Ruben's car. So that car to me means a lot
So
because I really got to experience it.
you're telling me, okay, that your air cooled experience was driving a
Seriously.
993 and then
His
driving a
first air cooled
964. I know.
experience.
And an RSA. And by the way, we used to make jokes with Ruben all the time because until recently, I know you're gonna put a picture up in one of these slides. He lowered the thing, but before it was stock height, so we would call it the Safari, right?
The
So
Safari
we would say
RS.
we would be like, "Hey, what does RS mean, Ruben Safari?" You know?
Ruben Safari.
So so those jokes were there. I mean, he was a good sport about it, but yeah.
I used to say, well, the car came like that, but eventually, and that's another thing I was going to mention about our cars, especially air cooled, that you can do so many things. And in my case, I've had it for 26 years. And the first thing I did with the RS, the first thing, it was about a year in or 2 years in, I changed the air filter and I put a K&N L filter, and I could hear the difference when I used to step on it. I said, "Whoa, wow, nice." So
That's your noise. Yeah.
and what I'm saying is that you can do so many modifications, and if you do them all at the same time, you're going to have the same car and it's the same thing. But
Yeah.
if you space them, every 2 or 3 years or four, whatever it takes, all of a sudden you feel a new car that you're driving, even though it's your own car. So, the next thing I took out the cat and I put a bypass. And my mechanic said, "Oh my God, your car's gonna love you." So what? It's gonna breathe better. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that what they do in Europe? They don't have the cats in Europe back then, right? So
Back
you were
then, no.
making your car
That car sounds really nice.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and then
It does. It does.
that's one step. And then a few years later, I heard another 964, but I didn't want to go and spend money on headers. So, but I heard a sound from someone else. I said, "Wow, I like the sound." He just, "Those are headers?" I said, "Oh, no. I just removed the secondary muffler of the car and I just did a U, it's a U cup,
Yep.
basically." And I said, "Oh." So I went into fast speed at $300 for the the cup.
Yep.
And I went to the mechanic and, "Hey, I want to take out the secondary muffler and let's put this U cup." And I thought he was going to bring me a little muffler because it has 3 mufflers. So I thought, something like this. The guy comes like this with a whole. So what is that? That's your secondary muffler. So that big? Yeah. 25 pounds I took out of the car.
Wow.
So,
A lot.
so hold on. So he's frozen. Oh, there he goes.
5 pounds. No, I was here the whole time. I was just frozen in
Javon's
thought.
math.
Yeah. All right. So just for our viewers, right? RS America, he spent 32,000, right? 32,000 for this car.
Somewhere in that space.
Now 2025, they range anywhere from 90,000 up to 230,000,
Yep.
up to 300,000 for a pristine version.
Right.
Have you gotten your car appraised in any way? Have any idea where your car falls within that scope?
I
Pristine.
always thought my number could be somewhere about 250 because of the 94 and also
Rarity.
the optional color and no sunroof.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
In my case, that's kind of where the number should be probably. But I tell you, you cannot buy happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, either
I don't
way,
know. I
it
don't
was
know. I don't know.
an amazing investment, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Ruben, from the past 2 episodes, and I've, the past 3 episodes, Andy was all smiles. He's not smiling now because he's regretting.
He knows where.
Andy
I know.
passed up on a couple 964s that he would have bought, but and we give him a hard time to this day. So,
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good thing to mention also. Not only what Ruben brought up and saying, and that's a really good point, where you don't upgrade the car all at once, right? You
No.
grow it,
Mhm.
you enjoy it, and and you get a brand new car, you stay interested. But the other
Yeah.
point is maybe we shouldn't be like Andy, and if you're new to buying Porsches and you want 911, maybe you should come to a couple of community events. Ask some questions first. Should I buy an air cooled or should I buy a 996?
Well, in all fairness, I don't. Andy, did you have that? Were you
No.
aware of the community? I don't
So
think
that-
he was aware yet.
That's actually an anecdote I was hoping I could get a touch on if I can really quick. And ironically, Ruben, believe it or not, out of all these dorks, I've owned the 911 the longest besides yourself. I've had a 911, yeah, which is the
Throw the
irony.
weight
He's right.
around. I see.
He's right.
Throw the
He's
weight
right.
around. I see.
He's not wrong. He was waiting to say that.
Good for you.
I was just, just had to throw that in there. Yeah, I mean, I bought my first, Ruben, I bought a 911 in 2011, and I was looking for the car since 2009, 2010. And in 09 and 2010, and I said this in the last episode, there was a Guards Red RS America that they were asking $23,000 in Daytona Beach.
God.
And I remember that I had no idea what RS America even meant. And I remember looking it up, like, what the hell is this? This is like a ghetto America. I thought somebody had retrofitted the logo on the back. No idea what the car was. I drove
Did you use the internet? Did you use the internet at all? I mean, it was around back then.
I did. And I realized it was rare after the fact, but I was, again, to the point that I'm trying to make. I didn't have a community. I was in Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
I was a college student. I had a little bit of scratch I had saved up from all the stuff that I did in college to try to jobs and things that I could try to save up some money. And when I weighed everything out, I came from a different brand. I came from that kind of environment of like, I didn't really like that community, right? Speaking of community, because that's a big thing for me. I didn't like that other brand's community. I just didn't. Like the people were just different. I'm just leave it at that. I don't want to get into it. They were
You don't
just
want to say which
weird.
We
community it
know, we
was,
know, we
which
know,
brand it was. I'll
we
say it.
know.
I'll say it, damn it, because I hate it.
Go,
BMW. We
go,
know we
go.
hate
Get it off your chest.
BMW. We all know,
Come
Jeff.
on.
We hate BMW. I don't care. We hate it. You graduate
But
to
listen,
Porsche.
See,
Porsche.
this kind of hostility is what makes Ruben say, "I'm not coming back to this show anymore."
Yeah.
he gets it. You intimidate him. Poor guy. No. So yeah, check this out. I didn't like the community. I didn't have that good of a time. But I had one buddy of mine who was a pilot, and he had a white Carrera 997. It was new at the time. It was an '07, brand new. And that's where the 997 got stuck in my head, and the water cooled Porsches were like in the front of my mind. And my dad had a 996 and a 986 Boxster S and a Carrera at some point earlier than this. And I just remember liking the cars. I did. And when I drove the RS America, I loved it. It was such a cool experience. It felt like nothing else I had driven before. I had no idea what I was in at the time. And I just remember feeling intimidated because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know of a mechanic who can fix this. I don't know where to take this stuff. A modern Porsche I could take to that was my mentality, dude. I had no community.
Yeah.
So when I fast
Community.
forward,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. I bought my 996. Long story short, you guys know that story already. If you don't know it, go watch the other episodes and catch up on that. But it was awesome. I had the 996, and for the longest time, I didn't have a community. I even then I had that car for 10 years, and I never. And my wife, who was very much in like the social media space, was like, "You should try doing like a social media page for cars." And I was hesitant because people think Porsches are this thing and whatever, and I didn't want to get into it. But then I did it. I eventually did it. And I met Javon actually through social media. And we were just back and forth chatting. And Javon's always like, man, you got to come out. You got to do this. It's awesome. I came from the same Beamer brand, and I'm in the same boat. And I have such a different experience with Porsche. And dude, I hesitated for a long time because I just didn't want to waste my energy and be like, this sucks. And eventually I jumped in. I eventually jumped in. And the biggest irony, Ruben, is that within like a year of starting to finally go to like the Runny Eggs Club, shout out to Robert and the Runny Eggs Club, and Jay, honestly, Javon for getting me out there. Um, and Frank, actually, you're one of the first people I met as well. Dude, it was such a blast. I love the community. It was like night and day immediately. And we've talked about this, and I just wanted to highlight that because I'm here today because of this, the community. If it
So
wasn't
let's
for the community,
let's get it straight now. Was it for that reason, or was it because there wasn't a bunch of burnouts and somebody hitting the wall and the police getting called? Was that? I
It's
mean,
a
which one
different
is it? It
crowd,
wasn't
it
like
was
man.
a
no
There
different
was
four
It's a
crowd.
different
locals at
crowd.
the event. There was no four locals at the event, right? That's why you
Yeah.
loved it. Okay,
No,
a little
it was
class, a
group
little
coffee.
class.
It's a great segue into the community, right? And Ruben is I see Javon is wearing the apparel, right? A&W representing. And Ruben, just give us an idea of, all right. So in the community, there's a lot of clubs, and we're going to touch on all the clubs at some point. But A&W is your deal. There's and we'll talk about it in a little bit. The runs that you do, some of the old school guys call it Ruben's Run. So explain to us your club and what you've done in this community.
Okay, well, I have to give credit to Vintage Vices because they're the ones that really got it all started. I mean, the Four Musketeers, that's Sebastian, Chago, Andres, Francisco. I mean, those guys, they got it all started up back in 2018, I believe, somewhere in that range. And then I joined Vintage Vices a few months later. I don't know if it's 6 months or whatever it was. I met Sebastian. I think it was in Wynwood. We used to go around in different places in Wynwood for cars and coffee.
Okay.
And then I joined them. And then, of course, for 2 or 3 years, so we just got together for cars and coffee. And then we eventually Matt opened Imperial Moto, and
Mhm.
that's where we used to go a lot more often. and I live basically 5 miles from Imperial Motor. And and one day I said to the guys at the time, this is how the ride started, the runs, and I said to the guys, listen, we have a great time getting together for coffee. So I opened the garage in my house, and the tail of my car goes like this. We're going out? We're going out? Yeah, we're going out. And I go to Imperial Moto and it hardly won the engine because it's 5 miles. And I told the guys, listen, when I got back home last week and I opened the garage and I put my car in, my car looked back at me and said, what the fuck was that? You playing with your guys?
That was it.
Yeah. Chit chat, why? Yeah. And then you take me home. What is that? So they all agree. I said, our cars need to be driven, even though, a little bit. And they finally all nod and said, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start driving, a little. So we started with just short drives to Old Cutler. And then we took a picture down there.
Nice.
We used to go maybe from there to Hollywood and then go, so little runs. And then it was Andre, and he was one of the, I think he posted, they posted, someone took some video of the run going, and then Andre said, oh, this is Ruben's runs. So I give credit to Andres for naming Ruben's run. So that's stuck.
Yeah, he's
Right.
great. He's great at naming things, Andres. We got to get those guys
so
on.
creative. He's so
I
creative.
give credit.
He's really creative.
He came up with the name. So we started doing the Ruben's runs, and then it started growing, and then new people say, hey, I heard there's a Ruben's run, kind of thing. So yeah, we just join in, and that's how it all got started. And from there, a lot of the events from Vintage Vices, and vintage is on the name. It's vintage, air cool, basically. So that's how they all started. But a lot of more people started joining us with water cooled. So then I didn't just came up and I said, I'm going to do this. I just went to Vintage Vice and said, hey, listen, guys, do you mind if I open my own chat and say, and inclusive of air and water? So they jokingly, of course, you're going to be the good cop, we're going to be the bad cops. No, so they were joking. I know that. So I said, fine. So that's how Ruben's run started. But then, and that I opened that, officially opened that in 2022, I want to say. I mean, it's not too long ago.
Yeah. I remember.
Okay.
In 3 years, now we're up to about 360. I mean, you guys know,
Yeah, it's
everybody knows. You recommend guys and whoever it is, ladies or guys, but we don't want this. We just want down to earth people, fun people, car people, enjoy the cars, enjoy the friendship, laugh, because these are priceless moments that we have,
Yeah. I
We-
remember the first Ruben one that I went on in my 996 C4S, and the funny thing was, I don't think I had not just we're not incriminating ourselves in any way, but I may have never driven my car that hard before. And it was so funny that we came off the interstate and I was worried because my oil bars had dropped just slightly to one or a little bit under one. I had never seen it before. So Pedro from last week, I went to Pedro and I was like, is something wrong? Because I'm like right at one. He's like, no, there's nothing wrong. You just keep going. It's not gonna be a problem.
So what?
I had never driven my car. My car was like, holy moly, what's going on? There was a number that I felt we were going slow. We were driving. And then I looked down at my speedometer and I was like, holy no. Still going low.
Mexico closed course. Just remember. Mexico.
Very, very, very good way to exercise your car and great event, man. Great events.
Yeah.
I mean, we started with the short drives, but then I knew that we needed eventually to expand eventually. And that's when one day I said, why don't we go for lunch at the winery? And everybody's faces was, winery? What winery? In Miami? A winery? He said, yeah, there's a winery in Homestead. No way. I said, yeah, there is one. So that's how we just got there, and everybody enjoyed because it's the distance and location and everything, and everybody say, oh wow, we need, you know, we can come back here more often or whatever, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's when I started with the idea of saying, maybe then I'll create a season, and my season starts between October and April. And of course, in between, something pops up, like I did the Rest Museum, that had to be certain people, or certain events that are, by invitation only, like the Concourse Club. I took some people to see the roof cars there. Uh, but I choose those people that are the ones, like the toy drives or support certain things, charity things that they support, so they get first preference. So they know, hey, because a lot of times, oh, how come you didn't invite me? Well, did you go to the toy drive or the other? No,
Yeah.
okay, next time. That's how the list, I
Yeah.
start
Hey,
picking the people.
some people have red cards and yellow cards, and some people have no show. You don't.
Ooh, you don't have
Yeah.
the no show.
Oh, am I gonna get a red card?
You're gonna get a red card for that one.
I think one of the cool things about Ruben's events, or we don't call it Ruben's runs anymore. We call it A&W for air and water. But I have a particular anecdote because a lot of us, I think all of us here, have gone to Ruben's event. So I remember Frank's first Ruben's run in Ave Maria. Frank was brand new in our community then, and
Oh.
we went there, right? Frank knows where I'm going with this. So
Oh, I don't.
so when Ruben, and I'll let Ruben explain how he does the Ave Maria. It's a really cool event, but there's this place where we park in Ave Maria, and it's right by the church. So it's Frank's first time, right?
Yeah.
So Frank gets out of the car. I'm with Frank because I'm like one of the few people he knows back then. Now he knows everybody, but back then it was just me. And then he goes to me like, "Hey, with this run, are we supposed to go to the church?" Because I'm like,
I
I was
honestly, because listen,
I'm like, yeah. I
I didn't
said,
see
yeah.
anything. I didn't see
Ruben
it.
keeps track of who goes to the church and goes to pray.
So all right. So for those that don't know, right, there's a small town in Florida, like the northern part, Ave Maria, and it's got a big, beautiful church. And I'm not kidding. Every single household has a statue of the Virgin Mary in the front, and
Yeah.
like a very holy town, I guess you could say.
Ave Maria.
So
Ave
when
Maria,
so
yeah.
when we pull up to the parking lot, I didn't see that they were having a festival and that there was all. I didn't see any. All I saw was this big church, and we rolled up into a parking lot, and I was like, "Do we drive all the way over here to like go to church or something? Like, is this like a Christian like retreat or something? Like,
Yes,
what is
that's
it?"
right. Repent for your sins and your speeding. Repent for your speeding.
And I was actually like playing in on him, like, yeah, Ruben actually kind of monitors like who goes.
You
Yeah,
did.
I
You
was like,
did not. You did
"Ooh."
not. Did you really do
I
that?
believed it. I
Oh.
listen. I believed it for a split second. Okay.
I did.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, Ruben.
I mean,
I'm crying.
come
You-
on. You know what? You know what it was? You know what it was, right? I never heard the story, but now it all makes sense. He had to pray for taking advantage of the widow. Right?
It was all coming back. It
For
was all
all his
coming back to
sins.
me.
Lowballing.
Felt guilty. Felt guilty.
Matter of
Well,
fact,
listen.
when you go back this year, you might have to apologize for the 914. You're gonna have to forgive that.
Wow. Oh my God. He has to go with the owner, though. He has to go with the new owner of the car. That's the only way God will forgive his sins.
Hey, so all right. So anyway, so moving on, right? Ruben, right? He's got three of the major events, right? Aside from like the like he said, like the smaller ones that he does. He does Schneebly's Winery, which
Twice.
is an amazing event. And I think Javon's band played at one of those. Was it
That's right.
the Loofs
The Loofs.
played at one of them? Great. Actually, no, that might have been a PCA event, but it was at
No,
that was yours. That was yours. Okay.
A combination. Yeah, it was a
So-
combination. Yeah.
also at Schnebley's, I think it was last year or this past year, right? No, it was last year where we had all of the clubs participating.
That was
This
in
year.
April.
This year.
Okay, so that was all of. Well, okay, I might be getting it mixed up here, but he's got Ave Maria, which is a big one and getting larger, right? And he's also got the toy run, which is coming up this month, correct? On the 21st.
The 21st.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I was going to go back to Ave Maria, but I'll go to the toy drive first, and then we can go back to Ave Maria. How that?
I get scared. I get scared of Ave Maria. That's why. Let's move on.
Let us find out.
Yeah. Every time we go, they ask me, "Where's Frank?" You know. So,
Yeah, they have a pew ready for me.
yeah.
Reserve.
How many people did he lowball this year?
You got they have a priest on standby, right? Ready for Frank.
Just for him.
I got him on a winning 100. I got him on a winning 100.
Get you over here and ready. It's gonna be a while.
Dear father.
Well, the toy drive. I have to give credit to Howard, Behar, and Pam because their son.
Okay.
Their son, about I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, maybe it's somewhere like that. He wanted to do a toy drive with the Porsches, and he wanted to benefit the Lotus House.
Okay.
And when I heard that, I said, "Oh my God, that's great!" Because for the past, I don't know, 15 years, I've been supporting the Lotus House myself through my cycling group for many years, and I haven't done a yard sale, garage sale. Everything I do, I give it to my friends or whatever else. I call Lotus House and they come and pick it up. I always been supporting them. This is the shelter for women, abused, homeless women, abused ladies and there's children. But they have, so when he said that, I was like excited. I said, perfect, that's great. So we did that about 5 years ago. And then the following year, I asked Howie, and hey, are we doing that again? And I said, well, her son, I guess, couldn't do it because I guess he was going to college now or going out of town. And I said, okay, well, do you mind if I take over? I said, no, go ahead. Let's go ahead and do the toy drive. So then I did, for a year or two, I did the Lotus House. And since then, it's, I like to give back. I always tell the guys, we always have to give back at least once a year. At least, sometimes we do once a year. Like Robert, when he said he wants to do it, senior citizen.
Yep, that was cool. That's very cool.
And just so you know, the senior citizen place, Ruben almost didn't make it out of there. You guys know that, right? They were looking at him like so there's a senior citizen place that we went to with Runny Eggs. We do that every year with Rob. Yeah. And I saw all the nurses were kind of looking at Ruben kind of funny, like, who's responsible for this guy? And why is he trying to leave?
Stop. No. Come on, man.
Why is he getting in the car?
Come on, man.
That's messed up.
That's dirty, man. No.
One of the guys, from the Miami group, Miami Porsche group. Borrow one of those walkers. I gave it to me. And I said, come on, guys.
I think going back to the toy run and the senior citizen, the car show for the senior citizens, I think it's really cool as a community, right? Not I know we're talking about A&W now, but I believe like a group like Miami Porsche Group with Ring.
They just did one.
Had a toy run last week.
Yeah, just last week.
It's really cool. I think it's really cool that a lot of people are giving back, right? So kudos to those guys, and definitely to Ruben for. I mean, that's not the only thing Ruben does with the toy run, and I'm gonna let him tell this story because I was part of it, and it was a really cool one when Hurricane Ian hit. That's a really cool story, and Ruben did something really, really cool. So I'll go ahead, Ruben. I'll let you tell it.
Just real quick, it's awesome when we can do these things because we're kind of looked at as snobs for driving Porsches, And if Porsche show up with toys for the kids and help out people that, women that are disadvantaged and stuff like that, we get rid of the stigmatism behind the 911 driver. Just wanted to note
Yeah,
that.
we're
That's
just
Oh
we're
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
we're
just wanted
just
to say
normal
that.
dudes. Yeah, we're just
Normal guy.
normal guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ruben. I'm sorry.
For the car brand that can match us. Not
No.
one.
yeah.
Not
Nope.
one. Because we have cars that are $2,000 or $3,000 to $1 million cars, and we're
Yeah.
all the same.
And they're all driven.
They're all
they're
driven and enjoyed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
we're not
car
snobs.
brand me. There was a guy in Imperial Motor once that had a Aston Martin, but he saw us having fun, and then he came to me and said, "Guess what?" He said, "What? I sold my Aston Martin because I saw you guys having so much fun, so I bought a Porsche." So
No
he
He
got
way.
wow, that's crazy.
Love that. I
he's
love
part of our
that.
group. He's part of our group.
He's part of
He's
the
got-
group now. Okay.
Yeah, he's a 964 Targa, nice, great car.
But his name's
Wow.
not Sarge, is it? His name's not Sarge, is it?
Oh God.
No.
Okay, just make sure. Okay, keep going.
No
Let me
need.
get right, smart. Go ahead.
Well,
So Ruben, you did something really cool at when Hurricane Ian hit,
Yeah.
and it involved Ruben's runs, and I think people should know that story. I mean, I was very fortunate to be a part of it, but this is all you.
that was an amazing day. Yeah, I mean, going a little bit further, I mean, when I did the one of the first Ave Maria trips, I remember saying, "Wait a minute, I think there's a club in Naples." So I went to and Google say Porsche clubs in Naples,
Yeah.
and
Paradise.
and then all of a sudden I find Paradise, Porsche Paradise Region, whatever. I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Paradise
there was
region.
and it was an email. So I said, then I sent an email, say, hey, I'm Ruben from Miami with the Porsche groups, and we're going to go to Ave Maria. I wonder if you guys are willing, want to go and meet us there since we're nearby Naples, whatever. And it happens to be Rebecca Graffer. She's the
Yeah.
secretary.
Becky.
Becky.
Yeah.
Becky.
Really cool people. Really
Shout out
cool.
to Becky.
Yeah.
And I fell on my back because then her answer was, are you Ruben from Ruben's Run?
Ha!
I said, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? I said, yes, I'm Ruben Run. How do you know? I said, well, I heard about it, whatever. So I said, so that's how the first time that we, some of them came over, and that's how the relationship started with Paradise Region. And now, we adopted a couple of them. They always come to the
They all show up. Yeah. Always
I
show
mean,
up, represent.
Lisa and
Yeah.
John, they're great
Yeah.
people, and and then the Air Cool group, they have a whole bunch. So when we go to Everglades City, it's amazing
Yeah.
group that we meet. So Hurricane Ian hits, and like I always have unsung heroes, and in this case, I have to name Mitch Weinberg and Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
Mark.
So I came up with the idea. Said, listen, guys, a lot of the people in Naples, lost their cars, lost a lot of, homes and things like that.
Mhm.
Why don't we do, fill our cars, and instead of going to Naples and interrupt the rescue and all that, we meet him in Ave Maria, and I would tell them to meet us there. So we exchange, packages from our cars to their cars. So then Mitch, of course, hey, Ruben, I have my warehouse in Miramar. You're welcome to have people drop stuff there. I say, wow, thank you. So, appreciate it. I tell people, hey, let's do this. And then Mark Johnson, hey, Ruben, it's Oktoberfest with PCA. So we're going to ask them people to drop stuff there. So Mark Johnson got a small U-Haul, and we filled that U-Haul to everything up to there. So things started growing and growing. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, it was, and then, said, wait a minute, our little cars are not going to be able to handle this. And then Mitch comes back and said, hey, Ruben, I got you an 18-wheeler. So what?
Yeah.
Said, yeah.
Needed
Wow.
an 18-wheeler.
I said,
Okay.
So more stuff started coming in. And then Mitch again calls, hey, Ruben, I got you a second 18-wheeler. I'm like, I said, okay. And do you think they need flour? I said, I'm sure. Okay, there's a guy that wants to donate about 8 pallets of flour.
8 pallets.
Wow.
Yep.
So I'm like, holy crap. I mean, okay. So I called Becky and said, hey, Becky, we're looking at don't bring your Porsches.
Anybody got any
Don't bring
Cayennes?
a car.
Anybody got any?
Don't,
Macans, Cayennes, welcome.
don't bring SUVs, pickup trucks, whatever back.
Wow.
Because we got two 18-wheelers. And she said, what? 18-wheelers? We're going to need a forklift. She said, I don't, forget it. We'll figure it out. I don't, we'll make a line or something. We'll figure
That's
something out.
crazy.
And I mean, even Naples, Porsche of Naples lent them the trailer. And
Yep,
they came
I remember that.
And
Wow.
then there was another big panel truck. I think we ended up with about 22,000 pounds of stuff.
That's
Great-
awesome.
great
Wow.
That's
crap.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we got there to Ave Maria. It was, crazy. I was running back and forth, and then figure out. I said, "You guys over there, you can pick up this, pick up, an SUV. How much stuff you can stuff in there?" And we filling all the stuff in the SUVs, and out of nowhere, here comes that forklift.
Huh.
And I'm looking at the church. Thank you, God, because I don't know what the hell that forklift.
There you go.
And then Becky said, no, someone from Naples knows someone at the golf course here in Ave Maria, and they had a forklift, and someone else of that, until here comes a forklift. I said, thank God. I mean, it was
Wow.
crazy. So at the end, there were like 2 pallets of flour, and I wasn't not going to send an 18-wheeler to Naples for 2 pallets, down there. So I sent some guys, say, hey, go to the restaurants here and see who needs
And see if they
flour.
want it. Yeah.
And then the guy that came over was the owner of the Mexican restaurant. Said, "Hey, I own this one here,
Oh, okay.
and I own the one in Immokalee. I said,
Mockley, see.
it's all yours. Unloaded, it's all yours." So
Tortillas for like 3 years.
exactly. I mean,
Make me hungry.
it was a thing of beauty.
Taco Tuesday.
It was great. I mean, then we all ended up in the pub. Remember, we had we and celebrated. It was great. I mean, a lot of the stuff they said, Ruben, people are going to take whatever they need, but we're going to take the rest to one of the islands. I forgot the name, where all the blue collar workers are.
Okay. Yeah.
They're in need of a lot of the stuff. And I said, that's what we want.
That's
all we want.
awesome.
It was,
Wow, man.
that
Man,
was great.
you're explaining like just such an awesome side of the community and Porsche ownership.
Yeah.
Like this is like you don't have any other community that does anything like this. Like the
That's what I'm
consciousness,
saying. Yeah.
you know.
I mean, and it just spreads over, like when I heard that Maria from Ladies on Porsches and Tony were doing that, and I told her, God bless. I mean, that's great, because
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
that
The
we
more the
do,
merrier, for sure, man.
the more it brings joy to people. I mean, and the brand is there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the Porsche people will see that, hey, we're there for the community also.
So we have BMW, drink four locos, get in a car accident, go to jail,
Oh, come
or you
on,
can be in a
man.
Porsche
Come on,
and you can
man.
actually do something good for the world and for the people. We just want to make that clear separation. So if you have a conscience, right, you know where to go and which community to be in. If you want to get arrested, we know which community. Okay, stop. Now,
Oh,
look,
come on.
we're getting a
part of the
little pressed for time. Do we want to go into some of Ruben's other things that the maybe other vehicles he has?
Listen, if we talk with Ruben, I mean, we will have like 3 days worth of stories, but real quick, because I think we're at 15 minutes now, so we're gonna wrap
Yeah.
it up. But one thing about Ruben that a lot of people should know or probably heard about is he's also a Mustang fanatic.
Oh,
There's a
Lord.
Yeah.
there's a
Wait.
term there's a term called Porsche Stang. I think Ruben kind of made that, or that's where I heard it from, Porsche Stang. Ruben has a couple of Mustangs that we've seen, and I know Ruben. Just so you know, JR does not like any American pony cars or muscle cars. So
29
now it's time
cars.
for
I
you
have
to
never
say,
owned an American car, just to let you know. 29 cars. I never bought one single American car. But go ahead.
It's America's car, Mustangs. I mean, it's 267 Mustang convertibles,
Nice.
4-barrel carburetors, and I use them for a lot of the music videos. A lot, that's my.
He comes out on a lot of videos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Generating
and
revenue.
movies. And
Sean-
movies. Kurt
Sean Paul-
also drove one of his
Sean Paul,
cars.
I have 2 videos with Sean Paul, 2 videos with Nicky
Oh.
Jam, 2 videos with a whole bunch of different artists. I'll send you the link, JR, if you want to see some of the music video. And
Whatever they go low.
back in the 80s, Kurt Russell, the actor?
I think I heard of him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He drove my car in the movie here in Miami. That was his car in the movie. And there's a mini chase with the police also.
Wow.
And
So
then the last,
you've had these for a long time.
you gotta stay until the last, absolute last name in the credits.
And it's yours.
Racing.
That's awesome. So
Wow.
you've had that. You've had
That's a
those
long
Mustangs
run,
since
big
the
time, yo.
80s.
No, I
Wow.
bought it in 75.
Wow.
75.
The green one.
What?
Wow.
What?
Don't forget.
75. I was 2 years old.
Wait, don't get. I don't need that information. Don't forget.
Do the math. Do the math.
Yeah, I
Don't-
was here. I was
Listen,
here.
when they created Earth, the Big Bang, they didn't tell me what's happening in the Big Bang, so that's what I can't hear. They didn't forewarn me.
He lost his theory. Oh
Yeah,
my
okay, so
god,
real quick
that's
though.
a dad joke if I ever heard
Real
one.
quick, I almost got rid. I almost totaled that '67 Mustang. So when I was growing up and I finally got my car, I would keep my '79
happened
mustard
before?
colored yellow Volvo so clean, right, that eventually my neighbors would come by and I started a detailing business. Well, one of my neighbors lived, I think, probably 9 houses down the street, came to me. He says, "Hey, young man, hey, JR, I want you to detail my car. Here's the code to my garage door. I'm going out of town for 2 weeks. My keys are right in there. Take the car and detail it." I don't, to this day, I still don't know why this man trusted me with a '67 Mustang when he's going out of town.
We
Anyway,
didn't know either. We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know either.
I mean, there was no
I'm literally
joyride.
scratching my
Apparently, I
head.
had never seen Ferris Bueller's Day. It was nothing. So I go to his house, open up the garage, go in and grab the keys, and I start this thing. And I'm like, waiting because I know moderately newer cars, eventually RPMs drop. There for like 3 minutes, nothing happens, right? So I'm like, all right, I got to make sure I get this to the house. So, I mean, I put this thing in drive. As soon as I pull off, it's like, just like, I took my foot off the brake
Bucking
and I think the car
Bronco.
was doing about 27 miles an hour, right? So I turned from his house and I'm coming down the hill to my parents' garage with the door open. And as I'm approaching, I put my foot on the brake for the car to stop. Although it's
No
still
brakes.
going
No.
relatively fast. So then I put more effort and more effort and more, and now I'm heading towards the water heater with the 2 big poles that sit up, the cement poles that sit up right there in front of it. And I promise you, I think it was about 3 inches. No one told me about a choke in a car. I knew about a choke on a lawnmower. I had no idea about a
It
choke
was
in a car.
revving. It was revving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was maybe that was part of the reason why I hated him. Like, I never bought an American car. I was like, this thing
It
is
scared you. It scared you.
You see Mustangs all over in all the movies and commercials and all.
Yeah.
Mustangs are amazing cars. But I want to close it off on the RS America. There's one thing that I forgot to tell you, and that is the PCA. We have to give credit to PCA because they're the ones that got us to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The OGs.
The umbrella, and then we just started our own communities.
Yeah.
But PCA approached Germany and Stuttgart, the Porsche in Germany, and said, "What back in the probably early 90s, I'm sure, and said, why don't you do a 30-year anniversary of the RS, the 73 RS? Because when it's the 73 RS is the unicorn, right? Those amazing cars.
27 RS, yeah.
But they couldn't send one car to the States because it was too light to, emissions, the safety, all that stuff. So they couldn't send one car to the States. So Porsche of America said, why don't you do a 20-year anniversary and send some to the States? And then Porsche said, you know what? We don't know how many we're going to build, but whatever we build, we're going to send them all to the States, and we're going to add America next to the RS. So
Yeah.
PCA is responsible for the RS America.
Indirectly, yeah.
Did not know
Little
that.
bit of trivia there. Yeah.
Did not know that.
They pushed Porsche, the enthusiast community pushed the brand so hard because we in America didn't have an RS model
Yeah.
for the homologation reasons. And like Ruben said, they pushed so hard that eventually Porsche was like, all right, let's give them something. And they
Right.
took the
RS
base
America.
Carrera and they turned it into what we know as the RS Carrera for us.
Right. And then they came up with the RS only, which is less weight, of course,
Yep.
but that was the story of the RS America, because a lot of people,
Wow.
a lot
I
of
didn't know
Porsche
that.
owners had no idea of an
Yeah.
RS America, like Andy, the people, nowadays, a lot of times people say, RS America, what is that? So then I have to tell them the story. That's why Javon says, how many times I said the story, because a lot of people, they don't know the background.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't know the
No, it's
car.
really cool. Really cool.
Unfortunately, now I know the background.
Yeah.
15 years later, 15 years too late.
And I got it
So-
with 14,000 miles, and now I got 97,000. So
There you go. That's how it's done.
That's how it's done.
I mean, and every time I drive it, you guys know how I drive it.
Oh yeah.
All we do,
We definitely know it's not going anywhere. We know it's not going anywhere. He's got a Mustang since '75, so we know it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. Jesus.
Right. Right.
That's awesome.
So we're right at a little bit close to the hour there.
Yeah, we're right about
Yeah,
an
we're
hour.
good.
We're gonna
Do you
have a
wanna
Ruben
close
part
us off?
2.
Yeah. So, all right. So, closing things out, right? We mentioned a lot of the communities. As a matter of fact, tonight, the second Wednesday of
That's
every
great.
month, there is Bayoshi, sponsored by Phil, one of the guys from the air cooled community, which is where I'm going right after this, and try to get me great food and great host and dedicated parking and all that stuff.
What
So
kind of food?
second
What
Wed-
kind of food? What kind of food? do you cook?
Oriental food.
Oh yeah.
Oriental. that's
Yeah.
Asian.
Oh
Makes
man,
sense.
the best
That's
fried,
good.
the best
Boji
fried
is
rice. Yeah,
They
the
have
best
about
fried
4
rice.
restaurants. They have like
I would
4
go.
restaurants in one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
So
100%.
that's the second Wednesday of every month.
Of every month.
And this weekend, actually, we got on Saturday, we got Vintage Vices and 0 to 60 coffee over at Haggerty's from 10 to 12. They're going to be hosting the 1,000 mile. They're teaming up with Milli Miglia. Milli Miglia.
Allora, así.
That's a great classic car endurance racing and stuff
Oh.
like that. So that's Saturday, 10 to 12, and then Sunday, and this is my shout out. So Sunday is Walt Grace over at Wynwood. They got beautiful guitars, amazing cars. It's the only place that you can go and walk into their showroom, and they've got guitars and cars in the showroom. And I'm not talking I'm talking beautiful stuff. So big shout out to Bill over there at Walt Grace. He's on the list of future sponsors. There's the list of future sponsors is growing, but that's this Sunday at 8:00 in the morning over at Walt Grace. And
Walt Grace Vintage. Walt Grace
yes.
Vintage.
And definitely big shout out to Mr. Ruben Fuentes, a very good friend of mine, man. A big part, one of the pillars of the community for sure. And a big heart, this guy. One of the things we didn't mention is he does his cycling, so that will be for a future episode. This young man,
I missed him this last time when I came down because he had a cycling event. Actually,
he was cycling. This
nothing gets
guy,
in the way, man.
amazing. So thank you very much for being on the show.
And also, don't forget his toy run on the 21st.
Yes. Toy run, the toy run, 21st of December. That's a Sunday, and we'll put more information on that. But that's a big one. That's one of the big ones, right? So that's coming up the 21st. Ruben's toy run.
Well, you gonna say something, Ruben?
No, I appreciate. By the way, how do you guys started all this?
It was a joke.
It was a joke.
I think I was drinking.
It's always a joke.
I think I was drinking. That's a lot of stuff starts when I drink.
I think there was a lot of alcohol.
What happens is we have a chat with just kind of us, and we mess around, and we're always messing around, like a lot.
We don't do we even really have jobs? How do we stay employed? Because
yeah. So that's kind of how it started. Somebody somewhere mentioned it, like, hey, why don't we just start a podcast and put all our craziness out there, but include people like yourself.
From our
Last week it
community.
was Pedro from Droller's Garage. We've got some future guests coming up. Next week is the episode everybody's been waiting for. Okay, is the 914. The 914 episode. Yes, you heard it. The 914. I got Carlos to agree with me.
Did he
And
say he wants
and
to meet you in person first?
I think
no, we're good, man. No, we're good. Man,
Hey,
listen, man.
hey, keep a taser with you. You don't know, man. The guy could be, really ready to come after you, man.
So that's next week. Next week we got the 914 episode, man. But Ruben, we love that you're here, and like I said, you're a pillar of the community. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And I will be there on the 21st on Sunday, supporting the toy run. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to try to make it myself too.
And we missed the storming Normandy. We missed that.
Farming Normandy. Listen, okay, so just final, right? So I invite Ruben. I'm like, hey man, can you come on and talk on the show and stuff like that? And he's like, yeah, but what am I going to talk about? Here we are, over an hour later, and we still have topics that we didn't reach, right? And so the following morning, he's like, Frank, I couldn't sleep last night because I was so nervous about being on the show. And I'm like, because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And here we are, right? A full hour with Mr. Fuentes. And we still got topics, right? So I definitely want to bring him back at some point.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on some of the other stuff. But
if he wants to come back.
Yeah.
If he wants to come back.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, we'll wrap it up with that. I mean, for our viewers, if you like what we're doing, man, support us, subscribe, and we're gonna have some very cool guests coming up. We've got Alvaro, who is excited to do his appearance right before DRT. So we're going to talk about DRT and what to expect for DRT this year. That's coming up. But next week is 914, and I'm ready for it. And so like I said, man, you guys like, comment, subscribe, and Ruben, man, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys again.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Awesome, man.